How much fun is this for you being here and dealing with the Hall H and the fans?
Comic-Con, let me tell you something. I'll never get tired of it. Comic-Con is just really great. We need Comic-Con. We need it. I think about myself being on the other side, how I always wanted to be a participant in Comic-Con, how I always wanted to cosplay, how I always wanted to engage in this. But to start on the stage, in front of 7,000 people, watching them, watch me, watch what they're watching is I don't know, I can't really put it into words, the wonder and whimsy of it. It's really fun. It's really great.
You're one of those guys that I just love watching you because you can pretty much do everything, and you kind of transform yourself. I wasn't even trying to make a play on words into so many different kinds of characters and so many different kinds of genres. And in this role, in all seriousness, you get to do it all in some ways too. There's a real arc, and you really add so much to this. How much did you love about being able to do that in this kind of movie?
I'm always amazed at the things that come my way sometimes because I think my 12-year-old self is like, what? Are you really asking me to do that? To be able to play Megatron, not just Megatron, but the origin of him, the beginning of him, who he was before he became Megatron, is just a gift that you just can't you never expected. And I'm really glad that they allowed me to come in and play and bring the things that I wanted to them, because I always feel like villains get a bad rap, right? They present villains to us and they're like, you should hate them. They're evil. They're trying to destroy things. And even as a kid, I was like, are they though? Right. Something happened, some disillusionment happened. And being able to do this kind of coming of age story of D16 and Orion Pax was wonderful. I also love stories about friendship and brotherhood. I always want to explore what that is and what that camaraderie is and that connection is, and this Transformers 1 really does that.
And talk about being able to make that brotherhood connection work so well. When you guys, I don't know how much you guys actually get to spend time together or not, and it seems so real. What's that like for you as an actor, and then being able to hang out today and kind of talk about this?
It's so crazy. When you do animation, you're very much, isolated. Yeah. It's very much you. Not often do they share, what you're doing. And sometimes, if you're lucky enough, you're doing a movie where you give the voiceover and they build around you. And I think that's kind of how this worked. Josh Cooley, our amazing leader, director, really let us bring elements of ourselves. And it was so interesting. I knew that I was going to be playing very close friends and then nemesis to Chris, but I love him, right? And it was so interesting. The minute that we saw each other, it was an instant love. It was just I feel like I've known you forever. I feel like you. And then I was like, so when do we become mortal enemies, though? I was like, let's never let that happen. But this movie really made some really good friendships, honestly, and you can see it reflected on screen. It's really cool.
You have so much Comic-Con cred from various Marvel projects, right, and Godzilla stuff. Yeah. And do you ever let yourself go out there and be seen to walk the floor? Would that be nuts?
I don't even know. It was interesting today because walking up, so when people recognize me, I'm always still shocked because I'm just like, how do you know me? Which way do you know me? But it's always kind. The fans are always kind and are always really just joyous and nice. And it can be overwhelming at times, but all my fans have been incredible and are incredibly kind. They always feel like family. So it's interesting coming back to Comic-Con this go round after having, the movies and projects I've had. It's like, oh, wow, I don't know how you. There was a fan today, young kid, who was like, my favorite character is Lemon from Bullet Train. And I'm like, why are you watching that? Who let you watch that? But it's just like, oh, that's really cool that I've impacted them that way. It never gets old. Man. Yeah.
And lastly, is there a return tomorrow? Anything you can tell us about wanting to return to Marvel? Anything in the
if Marvel calls, I'll be there to answer, truly. I had a really good time with that crew. Such a good family. And, it's just about where they want to take it. And I'm along for the ride.